Daredevil Born Again cannot keep getting away with this. They can't keep getting away with it. Because that's just a crazy cliffhanger. That episode got me feeling like Wilson Fisk. I find that a primal scream is the only way to release your emotion. Ah! And just like my man Dex, Born Again can't miss. And might I say, this episode was just extra saucy. And either way, so much happened. And me and you, we gotta talk about it. This is your spoiler warning. You have been warned. So we kick off this episode with a blue rose with the entire screen colored blue. As the blue dissipates, we get this slow moving camera that slowly keeps panning out. And for a second, I thought I was in a Claritin commercial. But nah, it's just prison. As it's revealed that it's Dex. Demon home! I just love Wilson Bethel as Bullseye, so it's always great to see him come back. But we find out that he's getting moved from solitary to general population, which basically means someone wants him. But who? As we get some more blue, I realize that this is him locking in as Bullseye. We cut to Vanessa and Fisk, and yeah, I feel sorry if you actually thought Vanessa put a hit out on Fisk. They were in on that shit together. But Big Willie says, Vanessa, I have something to show you. As we cut to Matt looking out the window looking like me on a Monday morning. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And we get a nice little restraint. She really just out here face card farming. But her and Matt get into a little kerfluffle about how Muse and Daredevil aren't that different because they wear masks. And Matt's like, yeah, but Daredevil saved you. And she said, I saved me. She kind of ate him up. But then we cut back to Fisk and Vanessa, and he's showing her where Adam is. And I love how we cut back and forth between Matt and Fisk, as Fisk gives Vanessa an ultimatum. And Buck, you are still not Wesley, little bro, shows up to invite Heather to a ball. But it turns out Heather never told Matt that she took on Wilson Fisk as a client. Now you know better than that. Fisk puts two things on the table for Vanessa. A gun and a key. As Matt's over here pissed like you can't trust Wilson Fisk. If Fisk is in your life sucks. So she says, all right, you come with me then. And just like me when the wifey invites me to a work event, I'm like, yeah, listen, I'm busy. Plus, I wasn't invited. There's a plus one. Vanessa grabs the gun and says, I packed that thing too. Unloads the clip on Adam. I was like flinching. I was like, all right, damn, you got him. He's already dead. It's official. They've reconciled. No more divorce. Fisk is like, I'll never leave you again. And I'm not gonna hold you. This is like my favorite murderous terrible villain couple. Matt goes into the office where Kirsten tells him, hey, Poindexter, yeah, he's asking for you specifically. Moved him to Gen Pop and he wants your help. Matt's like, oh, they moved him to Gen Pop. Can I get front row seats? That's called bars. Picking up with Fisk and the Fiskettes, he tells them all it's a time for celebration. The AVT is doing work. Vigilanteism is down 30%. And Fisk was feeling so good, he gave Daniel a promotion to head of communication. And of course, Daniel took this opportunity to turn Fisk into a Krispy Kreme donut. I've never seen someone glaze farm like that. He said, I'm gonna work night and day. I'd burn for you. Like, zip his pants back up, bro. The funniest part was Fisk was like, I know you will. Matt and Kirsten are talking to a new potential client who's just lying out of his ass. Matt hit him with to say that again? Say that again. Matt was pissed. He was like, you're lying out of your teeth. I ain't representing you. And Kirsten was like, Matt, what's the matter? Have a Snickers. You're not yourself. That's like every day I wake up, I try my best, but nothing's going right. My life sucks. She's like, okay, I understand. And Matt goes back to the literal scene of the crime, Josie's, which seems to be the place that gives him fuel. And Josie's went out of business. It's closed down. No. But as Matt's about to walk away, Josie opens up the door and she's like, Matt, get your little ass in here, have a drink. So they do, and they have a nice little heartwarming conversation about how she's thinking about reopening the place. When I'm sick of this bald-headed demon. I'm sick of Cherry's ass. I'm sick of this. Comes in like, Kirsten told me to keep tabs on you. You're ruining your life. Matt immediately pouring another shot is the realest thing I've seen in my life. But Josie talks about how Foggy ordered a very special drink as he was her last customer. And Matt's like, hold on a second. He only orders that if he's celebrating. That's when he says, hold on, he won a case. Someone wanted him dead. It's all starting to make sense now. When he goes to visit him, he straight up asks him, did Fisk hire you to kill Foggy? And Dex is like, another night in here and you might not ever find out. I said, boo-hoo, cry me a river. That's when Dex hits the, you know, in another life, I would have really liked to just do laundry and taxes with. He says, you'd probably be defending me in another life. Because that's what good men do, right? Defend their worst enemies. And Matt, he didn't like that. Not one bit. And he says, you're trying to bargain with me? I don't trust you. And I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Starts smacking his head on the fucking table and tells the guard that he started slamming his own head into the table like a psych. But Matt, this was a big mistake. As we cut to Fisk's ball, we get a nice little conversation between Daniel and Baby. He was like, I know I blackmailed you, but look, I got a promotion. As now everybody that was telling Fisk he was a joke is scared of him again. But not Jack. He's like, why are you so scareful? As we cut to Heather out here just face card farming. She's calling Matt. She's like, damn, I didn't think he would actually stand me up. We get Fisk and Vanessa saying, allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We run shit here. Y'all just live here. That's when we cut back to Dex, who just got patched up. And when this guard comes to get him, he just starts smiling because he's got one of his teeth loose. And he did the thing just like the comic, bro. This motherfucker don't even know what hit him by the time it hit him. He really shot the tooth into this man's eye. Ah, bullseye. And then he murks the doctor and the guard and says, it's time to lock in. Demon home. Demon home. As my brother in Christ, all hell is about to break loose. He gets onto a guard transport and you know exactly where he's going. Matt finally pulls up to the port, makes eye contact with Fisk, who starts getting the I beat you flashback. This vigilante. But as Heather tries to have a conversation with Matt, he's like, I'm not really listening to that. I'm trying to listen to what Fisk got going on. As Fisk is having a conversation with Jack, I love how this scene between Jack and Fisk is filmed because it makes Fisk look massive. And he tells Jack, you are going to give a very good donation. Otherwise, I'm going to tell everyone that you are the swordsman. Oh, naughty, naughty, Big Willie. Man, he's really using this vigilante shit as some stepping stone. Hey, I'm not gonna hold you. Getting little bro like this is crazy. That's when this reporter tries taking a picture of Fisk, fetches the dogs on him, and this dude's like, hey, private event, let's deep fry your hand. That's when the old chief is like, what are you guys doing? This is excessive force. This is assault. But they're like, we don't take orders from you. You're washed. That's when Bibi takes her opportunity to say, hey, I think me and you can do business. I don't gotta write all my stories under my name. And he's like, you know what? I actually got a lot of very valuable information that you would like to hear. And that's when we get Fisk and Vanessa having their own little Joker Fali Apu moment. Matt watching them is like me watching Joker 2. Ass. But that's when Buck gets the phone call that Bullseye, he's on loose. And Demon Home, he's already there. He's in the elevator. But Matt and Heather wiggle their way onto the dance floor and switch partner. And Fisk is like, tell me, has Mr. Murdoch told you about his other half? Because thanks to his powers, Matt knows that Vanessa was the one who put the hit out on Foggy. Matt tells her, does Fisk even know? She says, oh, does your girlfriend know that you're Daredevil? They going threat for threat right now. This shit is crazy. I was locked in. And that's, we get Bullseye locking in. We have a sniper in the building. As he sets his sights, Matt's powers start kicking in. We get that cool shot that we got in the first episode. You can tell this is the new creative team and they went stupid. You get that closing of the aspect ratio as Matt notices that Bullseye's about to shoot. But who's he gonna shoot? As he shoots, he was aiming at Fisk, but Matt jumps in and protects Fisk? I thought if anyone was gonna jump in, it was gonna be Daniel. But the episode ends with Matt just bleeding out on the floor with the entire screen turning red, which is a beautiful way to contrast with the blue. Oh, I mean, we all know he ain't gonna die, but like, what the fuck? Absolute cinema. I have no notes. Y'all know what to do for season 2 of Daredevil. I like it. Hell, I love it. That episode had me locked the fuck in. So to give my, less sporadic and crazy recap review of it, a little more fleshed out, I thought that episode was phenomenal. You could definitely tell that that's from Benson and Moorhead, who are going to be the new creators working on season 2. They're the ones who did episode 1. In case you don't know, Daredevil Born Again is a Frankenstein's monster of a show. Like, they're working off of 6 or 7 episodes that were from a completely different creative team. And you can definitely see, like, going from last week's episode to this week's episode, it really shows, like, these are 2 different creative teams. Like, last week's episode was so choppy. The editing was horrible. The action sequences, you can even tell the choreography in that episode was not as good as the episode with Muse that we first saw. And they just brought so much fucking sauce to this episode, man. I just love the colors, like the blue for Bullseye when he locks in, and then the red at the end with Matt, because he's he's bleeding out. Like, oh my God, they just understand it. Even the costume designs. Look at Vanessa and Fisk. They're basically the canvas. They are the painting. They're walking out like the rabbit in a snowstorm. And, oh, man, anytime you get Wilson Bethel in an entire episode, you just know that shit gonna be peak. Like, the scene with him and Matt having that conversation, and Matt's just like itching. He's itching for Bullseye to say some bullshit just so he could unleash on him, because that's the face of a man who likes it. Hell, he loves it. Because as much as Matt won't admit it, he loves the violence. That's the reason he really is Daredevil. And I just love the dynamic between him and Bullseye. Like, Bullseye really is just an agent of chaos. And finding out that Vanessa was the one who ordered the hit and not Fisk, and Fisk doesn't know, like, there's just so much going on. Both Fisk and Matt are still trying to reestablish themselves into this new world of the MCU, and they're having very similar journeys. Like, I love that we keep cutting back and forth. Like, the beginning of this episode, we're cutting back and forth between Heather and Matt, Vanessa and Fisk. Like, it's perfect. It's going to end in a nice crescendo next week when we get Frank Castle back, and I just cannot wait. And you already know next week's about to be crazy, because that guilt, that shame, that's my home red. He got live! But let me know what you thought about that episode down in the comments below, and as always, like and follow for more.